Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. In this show today, you're going to learn how to invest in real estate, or at least make money from real estate without a lot of money, okay? So how would I do this? If I had $5,000 to my name, what would I do? We're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about how to house hack with very little money, and we're going to talk about rental arbitrage, again, with very little money. Number one, if you are a younger person and you're renting, and everyone, there is nothing wrong with renting. I understand in Canada where we are that we have this thought that everybody should be a homeowner. Well, I mean, we all know why, because the principal residence tax, no capital gains tax, is one of the biggest factors of wealth in Canada. So other than that, there's no real good reason to own your personal residence. When I was young, I was 20, 21 years old. I rented a 4-bedroom apartment above a store. I think our rent was $1,100 a month. That shows you how old I am, because this is in Toronto. And I rented out 3 rooms for $450 each. Now, of course, I had some utilities to pay and that, but I basically lived there for free. So I house hacked an apartment. And anybody can do this. Anybody can go rent a house, get in there and rent some of the rooms to your buddies, or, I played rugby back then. So the rugby team would always have people coming in from overseas. They always needed a place to stay. So I rented to those type of people. There's always people out there looking for a room to rent. This can be done. And obviously I did it. And it was obviously, what did I have to put up? I put up first and last. So I had last month's rent, and that was basically it. And whatever I needed to live anyways, which was, pots and pans, cutlery. But I mean, when you're a 20-something guy, you don't need a lot of that stuff, right? Obviously. That allowed me basically to save a lot of my income from my job. I mean, I was only making 50 grand at the time, and buy a couple rental properties. So I was renting still, and I had 2 rental properties. So I'm not going to go into like some great technical analysis on this, or actually comment down below. Do you want me to go find a couple rentals out there that might make a good rental hacking or house hacking rental scenario and run the numbers on them? Comment down below. Let me know if you want me to do that. Not going to go that deep in this video, but I do want to talk to you about rental arbitrage. So what is rental arbitrage? Rental arbitrage is very simply when I rent an apartment. So I'm renting it long term. So I'm renting it for a year, 2 years, and then I go ahead and use it in a different scenario. So say short-term rentals, whether, by the night or by the week, or even a furnished rental. So I'm buying unfurnished, and then it's furnished, and I might get, a longer term tenant as well. So again, a little bit more cost. So your cost is, again, last month's rent deposit, because the first month's rent, if you do this right, then you should basically be covering your first month's rent with the money you make, right? So what does it cost to set up an Airbnb? Well, you can probably do it if you're smart on $3,000 to $6,000. What I mean by that is, if you want to put in the grind to go find stuff on Kijiji, you can find cutlery, you can find everything that you need for a household on Kijiji. You can do it pretty cheap. And it's, again, how much work you want to put in, rather than just go to HomeSense or wherever those places are that sell these things. You can tell I don't really buy a lot of this stuff, Kitchen Stuff Plus, whatever it is. I would probably just get it all at Costco. But that's the thing, right? So you can get it way cheaper if you go to those sites than if you go and buy brand new everything. People I know doing rental arbitrage, their numbers are basically, they want to make, so if their investment is $15,000, they want to make a profit of $30,000 in that first year. And that's how they know, well, that's basically what they're budgeting on for profitability. And then, so obviously there's risk. There's always risk in investing, and this is investing. This is a way to obviously make really good cash flow without a lot of your own money. And the risk is that you could be stuck with a lease that you have no short-term renters for. I'm very limited in my experience with Airbnb and short-term rentals. I did have one of my units that I put on Airbnb, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was a 2-bedroom unit in Hamilton, and I think at the time we were getting about $110 a night average, which compared to the rent at the time, so you figure $110 a night is like $3,300 minus some cost. We were literally double what our rent was if we rented the full time, but we would rent, I would say we were rented 95, 96% of the time. So we were a little bit less than double our rent. So if you can do that, you're basically paying yourself back. If you can go out and buy the stuff well, and let's say it's a $1,500 a month apartment, and you can go same math, then you're literally paying yourself back within 4 months. 4 to 6 months is you're paying back your total outlay of all your expenses, which would be last month's rent and any furnishings or towels, whatever you got to put in there, right? I mean, we can do a video. I can get Aaron Bay on, who does this a lot, and we can talk about what is needed to set up an Airbnb. Comment down below if you want to see that. So guys, these are 2 great strategies in which you can invest in real estate and lower, well, in one case, lower your monthly expenses to 0 without much expense out. Number 2 case, which would be to be able to create income, passive income. Well, sorry, it's not passive because you're working for it. No offense, you're working for it. But you can go ahead and create this side hustle with very little money and create a great return. And by the way, once you do this once, there's no reason you can't go ahead and do this a second time, a third time, a fourth. The more you do it, the better it is, because now you have a track record. You can walk to a landlord and say, I would like to rent your apartment and this is what I'm going to do. And by the way, and Aaron Bay is a great example. He walks in and says, oh, this is a duplex. I'm going to take care of all maintenance. I'm going to take care of everything on this duplex for you. It's going to be hands off. You don't need a property manager. You don't need any of this. And basically, I will manage it and I'll do short-term rentals. And he has a cleaner going in every time. So it's a cleaner, like nobody's trashing anything. And if people trash things, they pay to fix it, right? Sometimes the properties come back in better shape than if you rent it out. I mean, especially in Ontario, we know that we don't have much rights as landlords to be able to go get that money. Anyways, just 2 great strategies, I believe, to get started in real estate with very little money. You know what? Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of this video. We'll catch you in the next one.